So now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna show you that you can add these two buttons, these two icons in the same LI. So instead of adding each one in a separate nav item, you can add both together. So let me show you what I'm gonna do. So you can copy this and then paste it in the same navbar icon, and then in the same navbar item, and then remove this, and now it's gonna be displayed like this. So I think this is better because now we have here a much bigger space, but we still need to work on the design. But you can also do this. So you can use the first method or this method. Also, the shopping cart, you can use the shopping cart, or you can use the shopping bag. The shopping bag is gonna display a shopping bag. So as you can see, a bag like this. Another thing that I'm gonna do is that I'm going to make this navigation bar fixed, meaning that if you scroll, I want this navigation bar to remain at the top of the screen always, so that the user will always be able to check this navigation bar and click on any button if they want, even if they scroll. To do this, you can use a Bootstrap class called fixed top. So here, if you say fixed top, this is going to make this navigation bar stick to the top of the screen. Another thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to increase the height of this navigation bar. And there are so many options to do this. The easiest option is to use the PY3. The PY is the margin, is the padding, Y, which is height, and the padding top and bottom. You can increase this all the way to 5. You can say here 5. 5 is going to increase it further, but of course 5 is too large. I'm going to say 3. 3 is enough. I think 3 is enough. So this is for the navigation bar. And another thing that I'm going to do is that instead of displaying nav bar, I'm going to remove this navigation bar. I'm going to remove this nav bar, and instead I'm going to use an image. I'm going to display the icon, the logo of the website. So I'm going to say image and then source, and then the source is going to be equal to double quotes, and then assets / images / and then logo.jpg. However, I don't have an image called logo.jpg. So we need to add in the images here, we need to add a logo to this folder, and I'm gonna do that later. But for now, I'm just gonna say assets, images, logo.jpg. So the name of the image is gonna be JPEG. Let me now work on the style a little bit. So I'm gonna open up the style here, the style.css, and then I'm gonna add the following designs. I'm gonna add the general designs. So what are the general designs? The general designs are the things that will be applied to the complete website, such as designs for the headers and designs for titles and things like that. First, I'm gonna say here .nav buttons, and then I'm gonna add a nav buttons class to this div. I'm gonna say here nav buttons, and then what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna increase the margin left. I'm gonna say margin left. So the margin left is gonna be 60%. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to push this nav bar. Let me refresh and show you what's gonna happen. I want to push this nav bar to the right side. So this is how it's gonna look like. I'm gonna be displaying these buttons on the right side. Let me decrease this a little. So instead of 60, I'm gonna say 50. 50 is enough, I think. So 50 will display it like this. And you can here, let's say 60, because I think 60 is great. So 60 will be great. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna add some designs to the complete page. So for the complete site, I'm gonna add the following. First, the margin is going to be 0, the padding is going to be 0, and the box sizing is going to be border box. Next, I'm going to change the body of the website. So the body will have a font family, and I'm going to import that font family right now from Google. So you can head on over to Google, click on first you need to go to fonts.google.com, and then you can select the font that you want. The font that I'm going to be using here is called Poppins. It's called Poppins. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to select it. And then in order to import that font, what you need to do is that you need to click on select this style, and then here you will find link and import. I'm going to click on import, and then you need to copy this part, and then you need to paste it back in your project at the top in the style. You need to paste it here, and then here the font family is going to be equal to the Poppins. So I'm going to say here Poppins. Pop. Make sure that the spelling is correct. Poppins, and then comma, and then sans serif. So this is for the font family of the complete page. Next, I'm going to work on the H1. I'm going to change the H1. So I'm going to change the font size and the font weight for H1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and even 6. So I'm going to say font size for H1, the font size is going to be 2.5 rem, whereas the font weight is going to be 700. I'm going to also change the H2. So for the H2, I'm going to say font size 1.9 rem, whereas the font weight is going to be 600. And then I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it here, and here, and here. So for H3, I'm going to say here H3. For the H3, the font size is going to be 1.5, and the font weight is going to be 800. For H4, the font size is going to be 1.2, and the font weight is 600. And then for H5, I'm going to change the font size to be 1, and the font weight is going to be 400. And for H6, I'm just going to change the color. I'm going to say color, and then I'm going to change the color to this color. I'm going to be using a color that's close to the white color. I'm going to say D8, D8, D8. So this is for this part. Next, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to work on the this part. I'm going to work on, let me close this. We no longer need this. I'm going to work on the body of our website.